$75,000, $83,000, and $105,000. Of course, this happens to be the Tri Motor $105,000 Rivian R1S. And keep in mind, they're coming out with a quad motor, which is going to be an absolute beast. But in my opinion, this is my favorite one. I can't say that this is the one I would get. I would probably look to the standard or dual motor, but this has some really incredible features. It has a 0 to 60 time of 2.9 seconds. And then you have these thick off-road, highly capable tires on here. Now, if you get a Tri Motor, you get a range of 371 miles, but putting these tires on it takes the range down about 60 miles to 310 or 311 miles. Now, I love these rims. I love these tires. I love the brakes that are colored along with the Rivian color scheme. And then you can see here, it has the yellow behind it as well. Now, the color is called El Cap Granite. And I gotta say, this is a beautiful color. LA Silver is the free color, but this is a really good looking vehicle. It also has Rivian's dark out package. So that means that the badges, you can see here, that's black on the Rivian there. And then on the back, it has the dark lettering here as well as where it says R1S down below. Now, I actually thought that this was also dark in the dark out package, so maybe I'm mistaken there, but just a little subtle difference. Now, the Ascend Black Mountain Brown Ash Wood is what the interior is called, and it is really classy. It starts with a door panel here. You can see this darker wood with ambient lights tucked in back here. The other thing, this is a Gen 2 vehicle, so they've changed the door handles. So you have a button here that you can press that will release. Then you also have a manual release. So you have both options right here. The floor mats are just gorgeous. They have the stitched, plus the seats, again, are stitched. I love the Rivian logo right here, a nice little touch, as well as the Rivian branding right there as well. So they've done a really nice job with that. And then the dark wood actually covers up onto the steering wheel here and then flows into the rest of the vehicle surrounding the infotainment screens. And it's just subtle and it's really well done. The seat belts, what are these? Oh, they're just black. They looked a little different with my glasses. The other thing is Rivian has a referral program. So I have a code you can see on the bottom of your screen there. That gives you $500 toward the Rivian Gear Shop. So you could get $500 off of a charger put into your house. You could get $500 toward maybe a bike rack or merchandise, whatever you want in the Rivian store. There's no reason you shouldn't be using a referral code. I'd appreciate if you use mine on the screen. On top of that, they have some really good lease incentives on these things. Now, into the back row here, you can see you have your USB-C charging up here, and then you have, again, just the brown trim in the back of the material on the back of the seats is so unique. And that's what I think Rivian does a really nice job of. I think it's almost like a mixture of Patagonia and Porsche mixed into a vehicle. They don't have as many options as a Porsche does, but it has their model line really well outlined. And the other thing to note about the R1S is it's not depreciating like every other EV in the world is. You can't really find them for under $70,000. Now, this one going up to 105 is going to hold its value a little more, but I actually think that entry-level model has an LFP battery, so you can charge it to 100%. Still comes with basically all of the features. You don't get things like the electrochromatic glass in here, and the sound system isn't quite as good. But overall, it's still a 3-row SUV that's efficient, 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. Has a good charging network because you can use Rivian and Teslas. So it's still an excellent option as that entry-level model. And these things are kind of pigs to charge on road trips. You're kind of sitting there for sometimes longer than you would like. But overall, it being a 3-row SUV and the second row moves around. So that's a nice feature too. So if you have little kids up here, or I don't know, 10-year-olds or whatever size they are, they could easily fit in the back of this, and then you can access the back via that. Now, I will say, going into the back of this for adults is not the easiest thing. I would say the cutoff, unless you're in great shape, 85 years old, I'll say. After 85, you're probably not getting in the third row. Probably going to be locked. So there's an age limit back here. You do, however, you have cup holders. You can see the cup holder here. And then you have third row has the climate control. You actually have a panoramic glass roof back here and up here. So that's very nice. But what I'll show you right now is the electrochromatic glass. So I tap the button, and then you can see the glass changes and it goes opaque. It actually doesn't do it in this third row, which is interesting. I thought it would have done it back here because there's some heat coming through, but you can always get a sunshade for up there. But this blocks out the light and a lot of heat. So I think that's a really cool feature. Now, the thing to note about this feature is it comes on the dual motor or higher model. So dual motor, Tri, and the upcoming Quad will have this feature. You can see it's the sound and vision package. So it adds a better sound system, and it adds the, what do they call it? Dynamic glass roof. So that's a feature that you cannot get on the base model. Again, it's a cool feature, but I think a lot of people over time probably won't end up using it. But it's certainly a very cool feature. I think you should use it if you get it. But that's a $2,500 option for the sound and dynamic glass package. Driving the R1S Tri Motor, this thing's a rocket ship. So I'm going to put it into sport mode here. So in sport mode, it lowers the vehicle, and you can also adjust your ride height. You can go even to super low. So we're in low. It'll take you even lower. Let's see. 9.2 inches of ground clearance here. And you can go all the way up to like 15 or 17 in your highest mode. Let's actually check while we're here. Go off-road. And we're going to go into highest, which gives us 14.7 inches of ground clearance. So the air suspension moves this car about 5 inches up and down, which is really cool. You can see also here some cool things. You have drift mode, turn off stability control. You have rally mode, rock crawl. So you have some really cool features built into this off-road. So we'll go back to on-road. And then you can go into lowest, and you can adjust your stability. You can adjust your regenerative braking, your ride feel. So there's a lot of customization in this, and the 0 to 60 time is 2.9 seconds. So we'll do an acceleration pull here, because for a vehicle that is this large, to go 0 to 60, to move over 7,000 pounds, it's probably like 7,500 because it's a max pack. To move that 2.9 seconds to 60 is remarkable. Oh my goodness. It's just nauseatingly fast. It's weird that an SUV this large can move like that. It's really cool. The other thing I'll say about that, like I have the performance pack. I don't feel that it's really worth it. The slowest Rivian's 4.5 seconds to 60. And, oh man, we got a runner. What is this guy doing? 4.5 seconds to 60 is plenty. Oh, they're pushing a Tesla. And we'll just keep driving. There's 3 people helping. 4.5 seconds to 60 is plenty fast. I don't find myself really ever going into sport mode. So if you're like, is it worth it? Is it not? I think Rivian actually has a, incentive right now on one of the vehicles where the performance pack comes as a free upgrade. So on top, like I have a referral code. I don't know if I even mentioned that yet in the video, but I have a referral code. Each month they kind of move their incentives around. So if you get it for free, fine, because it adds some features in here. It's just a software update, but ultimately I don't think you're going to be using that much because it's a big SUV. The other thing that is worth noting is you'll see here it has Conserve mode. So in Conserve mode, watch this number right here. So we're at 232 miles of range, tap Conserve, and it adds 36 miles of range to the vehicle by going into Conserve. And what Conserve does is it locks the vehicle into front wheel drive. So it adds a lot of range. And if you go into sport mode, it reduces the range, all purpose increases it. But ultimately Conserve mode adds the most amount of range. The downside of Conserve mode is the front tires are just pulling at a really heavy vehicle. So if you're in Conserve all the time, you're going to unevenly wear out the front tires prematurely. So if you need to get more range or you're on a road trip and you want to do that, fine. But also rotate through the different drive settings on your road trips when you're driving sustained for long periods of time. Because even around town, the ripping those front tires up, it's going to add up over time. So that's just something that I want to make you aware of. It's awesome that you can add that amount of range to the vehicle just by tapping a button. I think they did a great job of that. But there is a downside to it, and that is ripping your front tires up. So I love that the R1S has a lot of standard features like cooled seats, over-the-air updates, and a quick car at 4.5 seconds to 60. I like that they have their own proprietary charging network while having access to Teslas and all of the others. And I've enjoyed my ownership experience, and I'm probably going to end up getting an R1S because I absolutely love this thing. It's not depreciating a ton. It's just, it makes a lot of sense to make videos on. It's just a solid, safe vehicle. Look at the Focus ST. ST Nation is alive and well. But you may be wondering to yourself, what is a road trip actually like? And you can click this video right here. My wife and I took a road trip out to California in our R1T, so you can see what charging is like, the cost, and the amount of time spent doing that. Click this video right here.